If I broke her jaw, no way is she going on stage.
It crushed me, made me realize how precious life is.
The lights drop low, the spotlight blooms, and two voices weave together so tightly you'd swear they share a heartbeat. But country music has always been a trick mirror. While rhinestones flash and harmonies glide across the radio, fists are slamming motel doors, lawyers hover backstage, and the whisper network crackles with tales that never make the lyric sheet. Today we're pushing past the curtain to expose 20 perfect pairs who sold the fantasy of unity even as they sparred like prizefighters in the shadows, proving once again that in Nashville the sweetest chords often hide the sharpest knives. George Jones and Tammy Wynette gilded themselves as Nashville's royal couple, crooning Golden Ring while fans wept at the altar of their supposedly perfect love. Off mic, though, they were welded to the bottle and the pill tray, chasing highs that turned the tour bus into a rolling battleground. George would vanish on lawn tractor benders, Tammy would lock herself in hotel bathrooms, and management hid bruises with extra lace. Their marriage lasted 6 storm-tossed years. The divorce didn't stop the duets because broken love, it turned out, cashed better than bliss. Years later, they sang the hits with frosty smiles, each eyeing the other's royalty check like a divorce decree that still needed one more signature. Porter Wagoner and Dolly Parton looked like glitter-dusted siblings when they traded jokes and soaring harmony on Saturday night TV, but the partnership was stitched with contracts and ego splinters. Porter owned the show, chose the wardrobe, and treated Dolly's solo ambitions like treason. She penned "I Will Always Love You" as both love letter and exit wound. He countered with a $1 million lawsuit. The settlement let her walk but carved permanent scars. Decades later, a reunion hug fooled the cameras, yet back in the dressing room, Porter whispered he should have chained her microphone shut, and Dolly only smiled. Because by then, her catalog was worth more than the wagon master's entire estate. Conway Twitty's velvet baritone and Loretta Lynn's mountain-bright twang wrapped around each other like vines on a porch rail, but behind Bradley's barn walls, they sparred over who deserved the headline font. Loretta fought for feminist lyrics. Conway pounded the console, insisting the hook needed twang, not teeth. One night she threw a coffee mug so hard it cracked the gold record on the wall. He fired back by overdubbing her harmony without telling her. Their duet, "After the Fire Is Gone," climbed straight to #1, while they rode separate buses, each vowing never to cut another track together. Of course, the label waved a bonus check and the cycle reignited, proof that chart chemistry and personal combustion often share the same spark plug. Johnny Cash and June Carter sold stadiums on the idea that love could tame a man in black, yet the backstage reality was rougher than any prison yard tour. Johnny's relapse boomeranged between pills and coke, and June's patience thinned to matchstick width. During one 1973 rehearsal in Las Vegas, she allegedly hurled a microphone at him, screaming that if he missed another curfew, the marriage would be Ring of Ashes. Cash vanished anyway, returned at dawn with a grin and a wrecked Cadillac. The next night they sang "Jackson" with tigerish smiles, daring the crowd to guess who had slept in separate suites. Love endured, but only because June could outstare every demon Johnny courted. Fans never heard the doors slam over the final chord. Ike and Tina Turner sometimes slipped into country soul sets, sparking crowds with rocket fuel rhythm. Yet Ike's wrath was the real baseline. On tour buses, he rationed her meals, tracked every dollar, and filled ashtrays while she rehearsed barefoot till dawn. Industry insiders whispered about mysterious bruises that forced stage-friendly wardrobe changes. One morning in Dallas, she snapped, hiding in a motel bathroom until showtime, then walked on stage in a white fringe dress so dazzling reporters missed the swelling at her eye. The duo tore through Proud Mary, thundered off stage, and the cycle of apology and control reset. Years later, Tina escaped with 36 cents and a mobile card, proving that survival, not harmony, was her greatest encore. Miranda Lambert and Blake Shelton flirt-tweeted their way into America's living rooms, cracking jokes about farm chores and whiskey shots. But the marriage was a landmine map of jealousy and tabloids. When rumor linked Blake to a TV co-judge, Miranda allegedly raided his phone and found flirty emojis. He fired back by hinting at her own late-night songwriting sessions with a certain indie outlaw. During the 2015 CMA rehearsal, they refused to stand on the same mark. Producers had to film their jokes separately and splice the banter. 3 months later, the divorce papers dropped so quickly even the band didn't get a memo. The official statement read, "Wasn't meant to be," yet insiders still trade popcorn over who burned whom first. Chris Christopherson and Rita Coolidge looked like a denim and lace postcard from Laurel Canyon, voices melting together on "Help Me Make It Through the Night." Offstage, the night often ran longer than the love. Chris's endless tours and penchant for the hard stuff sent Rita pacing hotel corridors, and when rumors surfaced of her brief spark with Graham Nash, Christopherson spiraled. A shouting match in Honolulu ended with a smashed acoustic and brand new song royalties tangled in court. The breakup arrived the same week they won a Grammy, a cosmic joke that proved awards can't bandage ego. Today they swap polite greetings at industry galas, but the music press still files their reunion photo under the category Frost Advisory. Long before social media crowned them country's prom king and queen, Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood harmonized while married to other people, and that proximity cooked up more tension than a double-wide pressure cooker. Hotel staff remember late-night lobby pacing, furtive hallway exits, and management insisting on separate billing even when they shared the same encore. Rumors of emotional affairs chased them from radio conference bars to European junkets. Garth denied, Trisha blushed, and both spouses watched the tabloids like weather radar. By the time they finally went public, 2 marriages lay smoldering, and an entire fan base argued over whether love songs should come with warning labels. Today they beam side by side, but Nashville archivists know the road to that altar was paved with side-stage sighs. Faith Hill and Tim McGraw marketed their Soul to Soul tour as a traveling honeymoon suite, yet insiders dubbed it World War Tour. Backstage spats erupted over everything from spotlight timing to thermostat settings. One tech claimed he learned new curse inventiveness every sound check. Tim's struggle with booze collided with Faith's zero-tolerance stance, leading to an infamous moment when she reportedly hurled his whiskey tumbler into a trash can mid-argument. Still, when the lights hit, they clutched microphones like wedding rings and unleashed vocal fireworks. The near divorces they later referenced were real enough that lawyers drafted papers twice only to be torn up before sunrise. The secret, Faith now says, was agreeing the fight ends when the guitar intro begins. Sometimes the most fragile vows are shouted, not whispered. Producer Billy Sherrill molded Tammy Wynette's voice into heartbreak crystal, but the control he wielded was sharper than shattered glass. He dictated hairdos, syllable inflections, even the amount of glycerin for publicity photos. Tammy bristled yet obeyed, believing the charts were a fair trade for autonomy. When she begged to record raw acoustic tracks, Billy blocked studio time, fearing too many tears, not enough sugar. Arguments spilled into hallways, and one engineer recalls Tammy sobbing against the tape machine while Billy ordered another take. The hits kept coming, but so did ulcers. By the late 70s, she'd swapped managers and marriages, proving that the cost of fame sometimes arrives itemized in broken hearts and unpaid therapy receipts. Hank Williams Sr. sang lonesome truths that still rattle barroom jukeboxes, but nothing made him lonelier than sharing a bill with Audrey Williams. Audrey insisted on singing backup, though her pitch wandered like tumbleweed, and Hank's eye-rolling became a nightly ritual. In 1952, a reporter caught him muttering that she couldn't carry a tune in a bucket tied with chain. Audrey fired back by managing his finances, squeezing every dime until Hank called her "my personal revenue agent." Drink and painkillers fueled blazing confrontations, including an infamous gig in Jacksonville where Hank walked off midway, leaving Audrey to finish the set to a chorus of confused boos. The marriage dissolved, but her shadow lingered, proof that love and co-billing sometimes end in the same minor key. Reba McEntire turned tragedy into anthem after losing her band in a crash. Yet the breakup that shocked Nashville was the silent implosion of her marriage to manager Narvel Blackstock. For 26 years, he handled every contract and camera angle, creating an empire stamped with her signature red hair. Behind closed doors, friends say Narvel's word was near law, and Reba's famous grin masked exhaustion. When she announced the split in 2015, staffers discovered she'd learned of the divorce papers after they were filed, not before. She inked new management within weeks, telling reporters she finally felt the gate swing open. The couple hugged on stage at a charity event months later, but insiders swear the air between them was colder than the arena ice used for the skaters' halftime act. Shania Twain's crossover Sparkle was engineered by producer-husband Mutt Lange, who stacked layer upon layer of arena-ready gloss. Fans bought the fairy tale until word leaked that Mutt had been spending suspiciously creative weekends with Shania's best friend, Marie Ann. Shania found out via a phone bill and an unexpected hotel receipt, triggering a heartbreak spiral that left her unable to sing above a whisper. The divorce shattered country pop's power couple, and tabloids feasted on the twist that Shania later married Marie Ann's ex-husband. During her Vegas comeback, she quipped, "Trading partners keeps the voice warm, but behind the rhinestones you could still spot the scar." The lesson landed louder than any chart hit. Even perfect production can't auto-tune betrayal. After divorcing George Jones, Tammy Wynette married songwriter George Ritchie, a union pitched as stability but whispered about like a hostage situation. Ritchie became her manager, booked relentless tours, and controlled medication schedules that critics say blurred the line between treatment and sedation. Friends recall Tammy nodding off in mid-sentence while Ritchie fielded interview questions for her. When she filed for divorce in 1988, she withdrew the papers within days, citing reconciliation. Skeptics believe threats of financial ruin played co-author. She died in 1998 amid speculation about undisclosed prescriptions. Ritchie kept the estate keys until his own passing, and even now the Nashville rumor mill spins over what secrets still lie in the locked attic trunks. LeAnn Rimes met Eddie Cibrian on a TV movie set, both married to other people, and within weeks, paparazzi captured hand-holding across steakhouse tables. The affair detonated two families and a chunk of Rimes's fan base. Radio stations boycotted her singles, and Cibrian's ex filed sharp-nailed interviews. The pair attempted country duets on stage, but booing erupted more than applause. A backstage source claims LeAnn once rewrote lyrics minutes before airtime to delete lines about loyalty. Years later, their marriage seems steady, yet every new song drop revives comment section fireworks, reminding Nashville that scandal ages about as well as day-old biscuits, always dry, often still hot. Tanya Tucker and Glenn Campbell's romance was wildfire, bright, fast, and destructive. She was 21, he was 44, and together they sampled more coke than caffeine. Hotel walls were punched, guitars swung like baseball bats, and gossip columns kept daily score. During one argument in a Phoenix car park, Campbell allegedly broke Tanya's windshield with his boot, insisting he'd pay cash for the glass but not the heartbreak. The couple recorded a syrupy duet, then showed up separately to overdub harmonies because they couldn't stand eye contact. The breakup left publicists chasing hush money rumors, and Tanya later admitted the affair nearly cost her career, calling it "my best song idea and my worst habit wrapped in the same package." Silver Fox. Charlie Rich sang torch songs that burned slow, but his marriage to songwriter Margaret Ann was a roller coaster of booze and backstage critiques. She penned hits for him, yet he'd sometimes change lyrics on stage just to needle her, then wink at the steel player. At one 1975 awards rehearsal, Margaret Ann confronted him about hidden bottle stashes. Charlie answered by lighting a match to the rehearsal script, declaring, "Now it's really hot." Security doused the flames, and the show went on. Their bond finally stabilized when he quit the sauce, but insiders say the truce was more ceasefire than fairy tale, a reminder that sometimes the prettiest melody sits on top of dynamite chords. Roseanne Cash and Rodney Crowell wrote love like mathematicians, precise and poetic. But real life refused their equations. Competing tours meant crossed time zones and resentments. Rodney's flirt reputation shadowed backstage doors, while Roseanne's perfectionism fueled marathon mix sessions that iced over dinner plans. They tried counseling, collaboration, even co-writing lullabies for the kids, yet jealousy kept scribbling new verses. When Roseanne's album outsold Rodney's, he joked on live radio that he was married to his own opening act. The laugh track landed like shrapnel. Divorce followed, polite statements masked the ache, and fans lost country's brainiest power couple. Still, you'll catch them sharing a stage for charity now and then, harmonizing just long enough to remind everyone how sweet, impossible love can sound. Winona and Naomi Judd sold more mother-daughter harmonies than anyone in history, yet behind the sequins lay decades of volcanic tension. Naomi managed every inch of the act, from skirt length to interview talking points, and Winona bristled like a caged colt. Fights erupted over men, money, even salad dressing. One producer recalls them recording vocals in separate rooms, the engineer ferrying notes like a Cold War diplomat. When Naomi retired for health reasons, Winona mourned on Oprah, then admitted relief at breathing solo oxygen. Reunions followed, lucrative but brittle. Backstage, they communicated via assistants. By the time of Naomi's tragic self-exit in 2022, Winona was still searching for words, proving that some family harmonies resolve only in echo. Johnny Paycheck's bar fight baritone paired with dozens of duet partners, yet the only constant was chaos. He'd show up late, swap verses without warning, and once walked on stage at the Opry so hammered he introduced the wrong partner entirely. Add unpredictable lash-outs and a tour bus rumored to house more cannabis smoke than air, and singers learned to demand cash in advance. One unlucky newcomer said Paycheck changed the key mid-song just to watch her squirm. His outlaw legend grew, but collaboration offers shrank, and by the 90s, his biggest duet was with a courtroom microphone. The legacy remains: great voice, unpredictable fuse, and a reminder that some artists sing best alone because no partner can dodge that many curveballs. Notice a pattern? The first half of our journey sits in the smoky era of 8-track tour buses and cash-only honky-tonks, where contracts were scribbled on napkins and bruises disappeared beneath pancake makeup. But Nashville's digital age didn't medicate the mayhem, it merely live-streamed it. As cameras multiplied and tweets replaced telegrams, couples realized they had to choreograph affection for fans in real time, while still dodging the same ancient landmines of envy, addiction, and ambition. The clashes grew slicker, the apologies got heavily filtered, yet the undertow stayed the same. With that in mind, let's shift from rhinestone legends to our present-day chart toppers and see how the modern spotlight can scorch just as intensely as the old footlights once did. So the next time two smiles glide across the Opry stage or an Instagram filter makes romance look effortless, remember the stories tucked inside these 20 glittering train wrecks. Country music sells catharsis, but behind every perfect harmony might wait broken glass, backstage lawyers, or a midnight escape plan. The lesson isn't that love always fails. It's that great art often sparks where real life blisters. Without friction, we wouldn't have the songs that score breakups and long drives. Stay tuned and stay wary. The next flawless duet may already be sharpening divorce papers in the green room, humming the hook that will bankroll its own goodbye. Remember, pretty melodies fade, but whispered grudges, shattered glasses, and royalty checks keep echoing forever through the rafters, long after the applause crawls off into the night.